You may have already experienced creating a new Google item, Google Doc, Google Sheet, drawing, whatever. We're going to look specifically at those items and dig into the shared settings. So if you're a beginner, you're going to go to your Google Drive. There are many ways to find it, but the quickest is to go to your apps collection and click on Drive. So this is what your drive looks like today, and we're going to concentrate up here on the new button, which is now blue. To create a new item in your Google Drive, you're going to click on the new button. You can create a new folder. This is where you will also initiate a file upload. If you want to upload something into your Google Drive, you can upload a folder. But what we're going to talk about today are the new items listed next: Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, and even more, Google Forms, Drawings, and so on and so on. And there are many choices available. For the time that we have in this class, we are going to concentrate on a new Google Doc, and I'm going to show you some of the shared settings by using just a plain old Google Doc. So I'm going to click on a Google Doc, and remember I'm in my new button, so I'm going to create a new Google Doc. And it's alerting me that I'm creating this in a shared folder. Google Drive is very good about reminding you if you are creating things where others will have access to them and may see them. Now, not everything in your Google Drive is accessible by others. You certainly have the choice and the power over that, but the alert will be there if you're putting it in a shared folder, which I am currently. So I'm going to say OK, and I have a blank canvas here, a blank Google Doc. The very first habit to get into is to name it, because Google Drive is it has an auto-save feature. So I'm going to call this Technology-Driven Classroom Demo. So I've named it. I can click off of that. And as I said, it is auto-saved. Even if you leave it untitled, it's going to sit in your Google Drive and be called Untitled Doc, and you will have to go and open it to find out what it is. So a good habit to make. So I want to remind you that the difference in Google Docs, Google Drawings, Google Slides presentations, Google Sheets, is that they are collaborative. These items allow you to give access to your students, to several students in a small group, to fellow teachers. You can give access to others to work on this doc along with you at the same time in real time. So for example, for this Google Doc, let's say that I want groups of students in my class to collaborate and add their ideas about, let's see, we're going to create a new media center. And so I want group 1 to contribute some ideas. I want group 2 to contribute some ideas. You get the idea. And all I have to do from this point on is share this document with the people who will be contributing the ideas to this collaborative brainstorm. So to do that, I'm going to come up in the upper right-hand corner and click the Share button. And the first screen that comes up gives you quite a bit of information. If you're just sharing this document with a few people and you want to type in each of their email addresses, you can do that here. And I'm going to use Ms. Donahue for an example. When I start to type in her name, it populates a list, and I can choose to share this document with her individually. Maybe if I want to add a couple more people, I can. If you're sharing with a lot of people, though, with a large group of people, this is pretty labor intensive. I prefer, for the purpose of this example, to share this with in a different way. So I'm going to click on the Advanced button here because it shows me more options. Pay attention right here to this first line where it says who has access. I'm going to click the Change button, and what I have in this list are some different options for setting access to this document. I want you to think about if you are sharing this document with students in your class. they are all GISD Google account owners. So the choice that I would make to share this document with them is the one where it says anyone in Granbury Independent School District can find and access. I might even say anyone at Granbury ISD who has the link can access, and then I can post the link somewhere where they can go get it. I can use Google Tone and tone it out to them, which is another class entirely. But this list of settings is what I want you to really spend some time looking at and thinking about what access you're giving people. If you are sharing this document with parents outside of the district, they don't have a GISD Google account. So if you set it where people in GISD have access to it, parents will not be able to open it, or members of the community. So you would want to come up here and choose probably anyone with the link, and then you would copy a shareable link that I'm going to show you and email this link to the people that you wanted to see it. Rarely do we use the public on the web setting, just because most of the time we're trying to keep our work where we know who has access to it, who's using it and seeing it. So I want you to look at and study these settings and think about what access this gives people. If you choose this last button where the link sharing is off, that means that you have to go back to the screen before and enter email addresses individually for the people that you want to share it. So I'm gonna click on this, which is the one that we use most commonly. Anyone at GISD with the link has access to this document, and then I have to come down here and consider what level of access I want to give my students. Your choices are that they can view the document, which means they can only look at it, read it. They can't make changes. They can't do anything to it. And remember, we want this to be a collaborative piece of work. So we're going to have to give our students can edit access. So I have my settings set that anybody in GISD with the link can access it. I'm going to give the link to the students in my classroom, and then I want them to be able to edit this document because I want them to type their ideas and their thoughts on this document. Once I've considered all these settings and I have their level of access determined, I'm going to click Save. And you can see that the change has been made here. I want to call your attention at this point to this link that's highlighted up here. This is the link to this document. So if I want my students in my class to be able to find this document, to open it, to type on it, I'm going to right click and copy, or Control C and copy. And now I have that link on my clipboard, and I can email it to someone. I can post it on my GISD webpage. I suppose you could write it on your board. That's not very efficient labor-wise. And again, there is a little Chrome tool called Google Tone. You can actually send this link through the airwaves to your students if they are using Chromebooks. And individually, if you want to add somebody to the list, you could add someone that's not in your classroom. You could add someone individually. Notice this little box right here where it says Notify People. If I leave that box checked, Miss Donahue's going to get an email that says she has a document shared with her. I'm going to uncheck that box because typically she knows when I share things with her. If you need to notify someone that you're sharing a document with them, feel free to leave that box checked. But if they're sitting in the same room with you, please uncheck it so you don't fill their inbox with another unnecessary email. The other settings to consider on this screen are that you can prevent people from changing access and adding new people. If you're giving your students access to edit this document, you might want to curtail their ability to change access and to add other people. So give that some thought. Think about how you're going to be using it. You can also disable the option to download, print, and copy. We are living in a green world, attempting to be paperless. So when you can, use your digital resources and avoid printing. Certainly if you want people to download it and save it, that's a good idea. So think about those options and really study these settings. Click around and think about how you want to set your documents for use in your classroom.